I'm Eddie. I live in Memphis, Tennessee, and I've been in the logistics field for about 15 years.
Amazing, amazing.
Mhm.
And if you could walk us back in time a little bit to talk about where you were before coming into Career Amp. So kind of what had happened in your career that made you want to get some help?
Yeah, so I was unfortunately a part of a layoff, and I really was actually really unhappy in my role. So it was kind of a blessing in disguise to kind of really see what I wanted to do. But when I got out, I just didn't really know where to start. I was kind of just looking at things online, doing the same old boards and so I'm trying to figure out, hey, where do I go to find a job? I hadn't had to do it in 15 years. I was just kind of like, where do I go? How do I do this? So I was really kind of lost, just endlessly applying to jobs on boards or on a company's website, and not really feel like I was getting any traction or even getting my resume seen. So
Yeah, it's hard when you're hitting your head against a brick wall and you're like, I think I'm doing this the right way, and it's not going the way that you want. You start wondering what's happening and what do I need to do about it. So I
yeah.
I, I hear you. I've been there. So talk to me about, okay, so you identified you kind of needed some help. What was important to you about finding a coaching partner or a program as you were looking at different options?
So I was really kind of trying to see what my options were, and maybe explore things outside of the realm of what I've been in the last 15 years. And I took some like online personality test and like career help, but it just never really kind of gave me the answers I was looking for. It was like, you should do the thing you're already in. I'm like, okay, well that's not out of the realm of possibilities, but I kind of want to see what other options there are. And I felt like I was kind of getting the same answers over and over, and just kind of up against a brick wall.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And so, so what was, I guess, what was the tipping point that made you choose Career Amp over the other things that you were trying or the other options that you had?
So when I had like an introductory call, I just felt really comfortable with the person I was talking with, and it felt like they really kind of understood the struggle I was in at that time, and I just really like had a connection and related with a person, and it just felt like, hey, this is a group of people that feel like they're going to actually care about me and what I want, as opposed to just, hey, you're another number, or hey, we're just trying to get people in the pipeline so we can have people going. It felt like there was a more personalized touch, and I like to be have relationships with people. I'm big on that. So that kind of felt good to me to have that connection right away on a, 5 minute, Zoom call with a person I've never met, to immediately make that kind of connection and feel like this is someplace I need to
Awesome. I love it. Well, you have the same vibe that we have here at the company. So no doubt that it was going to be a good fit. But I'm so glad our paths crossed and we came into each other's journeys here. You hopped inside Career Amp after that conversation. What would you say was like maybe your first aha moment or your first win right off the bat when you jumped in?
So when I really kind of did the like personality test to really feel out like what I want, and things that I always thought were important to me, and kind of going through the steps, especially with my coach, going through the steps and realizing one thing that I always thought was super important to me, come to find out, like when I started ranking them, it started falling further and further down the list, and I was like, okay, maybe. So it was just kind of a real eye opener. Is that before the program, you would have told, I would have said, hey, for me, it was being in office was an important thing, and so I was like, yes. And then we started talking about other things, and it was like being in office ended up falling down to the bottom of the list. And I was like, okay, I really don't know what I'm doing here. So I'm
Yeah.
glad I found the right people that are helping me get on the path of where I need to go.
Totally. The good options rubric is like so important for so many reasons. One is what you
Yes.
just mentioned to like, this is what I always thought. And actually, when I think about all these things together, maybe actually it's not as important. That's number one. But number two is like you're not biased over having a job offer in front of you, a company in front of you that's trying to woo you into joining their team. And so they're influencing what's most important to you. You're doing it when
Yes.
you don't have anything in front of you. And so that you're really staying true to what is important to you.
Yes. No, I totally agree with that. It helps shine some light on things that not only what I felt I was skilled at, it kind of reconfirmed that, but also like where I see myself going and what I want to do. So it really kind of just that little light bulb moment of going, that makes more sense now, than that there's actually reason behind it, not just this
Yes.
thought in my head. So
That's so great. That's so great. All right. And Eddie, what would you consider your biggest win? Would you consider it your new role? Would you consider it the offer or something else along the way? What would you consider the biggest?
So I mean, obviously, the role is the end goal, so that is huge. But I just think the side dooring method was so hugely insightful, where it feels like a on the surface when it's described, it feels like a simple thing that just never like registers, and you just go, but the way to go about it, it's really given me insight just that I can use not only for psycho but like business purposes on how to find certain people and get to the right people, because sometimes it's not a matter of getting to a certain person, it's just getting to the right level of people that can get you around and in the door to places. So like that's what I took away the most, was that that can be so beneficial for my career, just moving forward in whatever role I'm doing, whether it's in logistics or outside, that I can feel comfortable knowing, hey, you know what? I may not get to that person right away, but I can get to someone who knows that person and get there. And so that's going to be hugely beneficial for me for years to come.
Yes. Yes, years to come. And yes, side door is so applicable in multiple different facets. Once you understand how it works and the methodology behind it, the psychology behind it, it can be applied to so many different things. And I'm so proud of you for doing something new, especially after, maybe not looking for a role after more than a decade, and learning how to do this and doing it well. And a huge congrats to you on your offer and your new role. We are so thrilled. So last question here, Eddie, is if someone's watching our conversation right now
Mm-hmm.
and they are on the fence on whether or not they want to come into Career Amp, what would you tell them, or what would you want them to hear?
So the first thing I would tell them is to jump right in. It is well worth it. I would say not only is the program great and helps you analyze and kind of analyze yourself and what you want to do, but even more than just the program being great is the staff is amazing. Everybody I've dealt with, not only from you, but to the coaches and the coaching calls, like you really feel like everyone truly cares about you personally. And I know that there's a lot of people in the program, but that little touch never got lost in the shuffle. And so, like I said, to me, relationships are important. And so that just kind of really made me feel at home and like I was involved in something and that people cared about me personally every time I talked to somebody. And whether there's a problem or an issue, it was always addressed really quickly and efficiently. And so it just made me feel good that I was not a person in a program. I was Eddie in the program.
So awesome. And by the way, I was just speaking with Steph before we hopped on, and she says a big hello. And
She
she's
called. I
so,
talked to her.
she
She's
did.
so
Oh, good, good,
sweet.
good.
She is just. I know you're recording this to use pieces possibly, but she is amazing. I know you already know that, but she is just the sweetest person, and just really felt a connection with her. Like I said, and just
So great.
it was nice and joking from driving minivans and me taking phone calls in minivans while or doing a coaching call while feeding a baby, and just be like, this is what I do. This is real life. So,
I love it. That's so great. That's so great. Anything else you wanted to add before we sign off?
no, I just really just thank you to you and to Stephanie. I really felt welcomed, like I said, through the whole program. It's just nice to connect with people that have similar interests and similar likes. And so I felt that connection with everybody. It's nice to talk. Hey, we can talk about the business stuff, but also talk about things that are personally, interesting to me and yourself and Stephanie, whether it's theater or, having being involved in theater or running kids around at theater or just, having kids. And so I always felt a connection with the people. And so that's been the real special part. And even, I would consider y'all friends, even though we've never met face to face, because it just has really felt like a connection that's been made. So,
Well, the feeling is shared over here. You are absolutely a friend for life, and cannot be more, thrilled and excited and just proud of all of the work and things that you put into this to make it happen. So congratulations to you.
well, thank you again.